How to find and wholesale tax delinquent properties. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I'm gonna show you exactly step-by-step how to find and wholesale tax delinquent properties. Properties where the sellers just aren't paying their taxes, and there's a ton of motivation on these deals. There's a ton of distress on the property, and a lot of distress with the motivated seller where they just want to get rid of the property. The best part about this list is you can actually pull it absolutely for free. I'm going to show you exactly today how to pull this list, my top scripts to actually reach out to these sellers, and most importantly, exactly how you can wholesale them today and get your first real estate wholesaling deal or your 1,000th real estate wholesaling deal with the tax delinquency list. If you don't know who I am, my name's Zach, and I've done over 1,000 real estate wholesaling deals, and I'm here today to share with you how to get it going for tax delinquent properties. Before we break everything down, do me a big favor, make sure you smash that like button and subscribe, and let's get into it. So tax delinquencies. The first question a beginner might ask is, what is a tax delinquency? A tax delinquent property is simply a property where the taxes aren't paid. Someone's being delinquent on paying those taxes. Most likely to be on the tax delinquency list, you haven't paid your property tax in a year or two. Anything above 3 years, you're most likely going to be a tax lien, where the county actually puts a lien on the property, and then from there, if it's year 3, 4, or 5, they might even auction off the property or put it on a tax deed sale. Now, I know I'm throwing a lot of really confusing terms at you if you're starting out as a beginner, and I'm not trying to confuse you. Pretty much what you need to know is a tax delinquency is basically a list of a seller who owns a home that is not paying their taxes. And if they're not paying their taxes, they're most likely not paying other things on the property. General upkeep, their mortgage, and they might need to pay other single bills. So they might just want to get rid of the property really, really quick and conveniently for cash, which makes it an amazing wholesaling deal for us. And that is the point here, guys, in wholesaling real estate. We want to find ugly, distressed looking properties that we can buy for a deep discount, sell to a cash buyer, so we can get our assignment fee and make a ton of money. So there's usually two ways the counties do tax delinquency. So if you're not paying your property taxes, most likely the county's actually just going to auction off the property after 3 or 4 years. Now, every single county is different, guys. There's over 3,000 counties in the United States, so everyone's run a little differently. On one hand, we're going to have a property auction where the property just gets auctioned off to the highest bidder. They actually might sell a tax lien certificate, which basically an investor gets to buy that so the county can recoup their payments, and then the investor can foreclose on the property themselves. Either way, the government's getting their money, and the motivated seller is going to lose their house. I do want to give a quick tip here. Just understand, for a lot of mortgages, the government actually supersedes the mortgage, which means if $100,000 is owed on a property for a mortgage and there's a $5,000 tax lien, the tax lien actually has to get paid before the mortgage. That might change things up if you're into creative financing or anything like that. Now, don't get this confused with the tax lien list. So basically, a lien is a judgment put onto a property for non-payment. If I have not paid my property taxes for most counties within 1 to 2 years, I'm most likely not gonna have a lien on my property. But after year 3, the county is gonna start putting a judgment on the property, so whenever it's sold, it has to get paid. When it's in a tax delinquent, which is usually under 2 years, now each county is different, guys, there's gonna be no auction pretty much set very fast. Once that lien's put on there, the clock is ticking. So the next question is like, Zach, how do I find this list? If you have no money and you wanna pull this list right now, I recommend you go to your county's public records or the county clerk of the court website. I know I sound like a broken record saying this, but it's absolutely true. So you can either go to the Montgomery County, if you live in Montgomery County, Ohio, and go to the clerk of the court and call them up. How do I pull all the properties that are not paying their taxes? So sometimes they'll direct you to the property appraiser, the tax assessor website, or the real estate office for the county, and then you go through all the phone tag and getting the right person actually getting that list. Or they might say, I have no idea what you're talking about. And sometimes that usually happens, but the best way to really figure this out is by either calling the property appraiser website or whoever's in charge of the property taxes. So even worst case scenario, just ask the clerk of the court who's in charge of property taxes and get their phone number, then ask for that list. And they're gonna ask you, like, why do you want this information? And remember, this is a free list and these are county workers. This is not a corporation. You can't go talk to somebody's manager and demand something. You're gonna have to play nice. A lot of these government workers are underpaid, and usually they don't like working more than they have to. So you're gonna have to be nice. If you're being mean, it's gonna be very difficult. I always say, and I always tell everybody, just say you were a private tax-paying citizen doing private independent research, and that's why you're trying to get this information. You're not lying, and it's the absolute truth. And technically, you're a student at my school right here. Now, if they give you any flack or they make it really difficult for you to pull this type of list, I would just file a FOIA Act or a Freedom of Information Act request, which basically makes them give you the information. Now, there is a rare instance where they'll try to charge you for getting pages for this information, and all you really gotta do is request for the digital version of this, not the paper version. They try to make this list harder and harder for you to pull. But if you ask for the digital version or an Excel format, you should be fine. Now that is a little more difficult to do. Now there are way easier options. Now you can just use a paid service like listrei.com or zachdata.com and get a list of the tax delinquencies. This is all stuff I teach on my free real estate wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com, where you can actually go out here, use a paid software. In about 15 to 30 seconds, you can pull all the tax delinquencies in your local in a snap. It's highly recommended. That's usually how I pull this information, but sometimes I go to the property appraiser for my local county just to confirm this information. But guys, it works really well. Now, once you get this data, we're gonna have to skip trace that. And skip tracing is basically a way of getting somebody's phone number. So if I have a list of all the people that are behind on paying their taxes, I wanna get their phone number so I can go contact them and try to give them a cash offer on the property so we can get that money and that assignment fee. So there's usually two ways to skip trace if we're gonna do it. Number one, we're gonna go to truepeoplesearch.com, which is basically a free website that pretty much gives anybody's phone number out absolutely for free. It's a lot more work to do, but if you got no money and you're balling on a budget, it's an amazing resource for finding anyone's phone number absolutely for free. truepeoplesearch.com. Now you can also pay for a list. The best data out there is zachdata.com, so I do recommend you go out there and try it out, or listrei.com, which is a very close second. Those skip tracing costs are ranging from 15 to 12 cents, and you really can't go wrong with any of those. Now, once you get their phone number, there's really three type of marketing channels we can do to reach out to these sellers that are most effective. And guys, I've done over 1,000 real estate wholesaling deals. I've talked to so many sellers and done so many tax delinquent deals. It honestly comes down to cold calling these sellers, texting these sellers, or just doing some direct mail and sending a postcard out to the seller. In my personal opinion, texting might have the slightest advantage over all of them, just because some of these sellers are behind on credit card payments and mortgage payments. Not as much as like a pre-foreclosure, but it's still pretty big. And you might get better results texting than cold calling, but just a slight. But pretty much if you do any of those strategies, you're gonna do it very well. And again, if you wanna learn how to cold call, how to text the right way, or how to send mail, just go to freewholesaling.com, guys. I have over 50,000 active members right now. I've taught tens of thousands of people to get their first real estate wholesaling deal and make hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year, absolutely for free. There are 0 ways you can actually pay to get the information I provide for you absolutely for free. So I do recommend you go there and check it out. Now let's talk about some of my scripts when it comes to doing tax delinquencies specifically. So I think this is somewhat of an unwritten rule, like probates, credit card debt lien lists, or even evictions. But when you're talking to somebody that's behind on their taxes, you do not want to bring up that you know they're behind on their taxes. Let's go over 2 quick examples of how a cold call might go the bad way or the good way. Hello, hi, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Yes, this is the owner of 123 Main Street. Hi, I see you're behind on your taxes and I want to buy your property for cash so you don't have to deal with it because I'll give you a cash solution for your property. Is that something you want to do? No, you're invading my privacy. Duh, you ain't going to get no deal from that. But if you just contact them and be very respectful and just show with confidence and authority that you're looking to buy properties cash in the area, and if they're just looking to randomly sell their house, you'll get a lot better results. And technically you are looking around that area because that's where you live and that's where you're trying to wholesale and that's where your cash buyer is. Hello, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Yes, this is him. Hello, hey, this is Zach. I had a quick question. Yes? Are you interested in selling your property? Possibly. Why are you looking to buy my house? Well, me and my partner are looking to buy some more properties in the area and we're just seeing if anyone around town is looking for a cash offer on their property. Then boom, you can have a good conversation, get into all the tactics and the scripts you teach at freewholesaling.com, close the seller, make 20, 30, 40, even 50 stinking $1,000 on a tax delinquent deal, and boom, you'll be going after it. Guys, if you go to freewholesaling.com or on the vlogs on this YouTube channel, I make a ton of money on tax delinquent properties. I've made $50,000 on deals like this before. And I teach it absolutely for free on this YouTube channel and on freewholesaling.com. Just understanding when you're talking to a seller and they talk about their mortgages and how much they're behind on taxes, you should have a general understanding of how much the seller is going to net so you can get the best solution for the seller. Let's run through a quick math example. I know you probably hate math, so I promise you there's a treat in the end for doing the math with me. If you can do the math with me. So if the seller has a $100,000 mortgage and they're behind 2 years of their taxes and each year they owe $2,500 in taxes, that means they're behind $5,000 on their tax payments. That means they owe a grand total of $105,000 on the property. Now, if we offer the seller $125,000, that means the seller's gonna net $20,000 at closing, so you can explain that to them. You're paying closing costs, so it makes sense. Now, I know I promised you a treat, so here's a picture of me holding a very cute dog. This is my grandpa's dog. His name is Milo, and he's an absolute cutie. Hopefully I got you some serotonin, but guys, straight up, wholesaling real estate works, wholesaling tax delinquent properties work, and hopefully of all the knowledge that you have right now to start going after it and start wholesaling tax delinquent properties. During this market, we're probably gonna see more tax delinquencies than ever, And yes, it usually takes a year or two for some of these to start going on, but a lot of property taxes are owed at the end of the year, usually October, November, December, and even January 1st. So we're coming up on a perfect time to start wholesaling properties that are 1 year behind on their tax delinquencies. So start trying to pull these lists right now and start wholesaling deals. Take action, guys. I promise you, you'll never regret taking action and pursuing your dreams. If you got any value from this video, make sure you do me a big favor. Make sure you smash the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out. Have a blessed one.